Hello, boys and girls. You're watching The Return. Finally, Peter's Raw Recap has returned to YouTube. And I hope you missed me. I really missed you guys. I missed all three of you. So check this shit right out. Well, check this shit out right. Tonight's Raw was from Tampa Bay, Florida. And I will admit this. It was a good show. I mean, it was action-packed. You got a lot of action. But it was basically SummerSlam Take 2. And Raw after SummerSlam Take 2. Now, was this a good thing? Maybe. I mean, if you want big matches, that's great. But to me, Raw has a lot more to do with storyline than, say, a bunch of action and a bunch of big matches. That basically, maybe it moves the needle somewhat, but you gave away a lot. I mean, an awful lot that you could have spread out. Now, I guess anyone who's watching would be like, well, you're complaining about a great night. And I'm like, nah, I'm not really complaining about a great night. And like, what? Would you rather like have crappy matches and then, you know, maybe if it actually advanced some storylines, because you don't have to necessarily put like your top storylines in the ring and do payoffs like almost immediately. The only thing that was screwy was the whole Dolph Ziggler, Summer Rae soap opera that was going on. And it was kind of petty, childish. We got like a Divas. They're trying to move the needle a little bit on like number one contendership for the Divas belt, which is good, but I think they sort of accomplish the wrong thing. You know, like lo and behold, we got more action. You know, just okay. Here's girls wrestling. There's no real storyline attached. And then we got Sting. But check it out. So Sting starts off Raw. I think this is the first time he's ever started off a Raw. He's normally at the end of Raw. He got out there, he cut a promo, and it's just, you know, it's refreshing to see guys who actually can give a heated, like, crazy heated, passionate promo. Sting, we all know who Sting is, and we know what he's capable of. He's not new at this. He's not developing. He's not in development mode. He gets out there, he cuts a fucking promo. And he talks about wanting the world title shot and actually wanting the world title. I'm surprised he didn't talk about him actually being somewhat the face of the U.S. title, the other title that Seth Rollins also holds. Something that bothered me in his promo is that he kept putting over Triple H. Now, I don't understand why he felt the need to always, you know, throughout the fucking promo, put over Triple H, a guy who did not beat him clean. Oh, I respect him and this, that, and the other, but if we were watching the same WrestleMania, he had DX run out. Triple H had DX run out. He got super kicked by Shawn Michaels, and he basically got screwed. So I don't understand this whole like, well, I have this respect thing for Triple H, and even going into, you know, Seth Rollins and talking about him and the fact that he's not half the man that Triple H is. And I'm like, what promo is this? What the fuck's going on? We all forgot about him getting screwed by Triple H at WrestleMania and losing because of getting screwed. And then like a handshake is supposed to like solve everything, to let you know that like WCW sucks and that you suck and that I'm going to beat you by screwing you. I just, other than the fact that I thought the promo was pretty passionate, that whole putting over Triple H thing was just strange to me. And afterwards, you get Seth Rollins and Stephanie McMahon backstage. They had just watched the promo, and Seth Rollins was pretty upset about the idea that Sting said that Triple H was half the man. He wasn't half the man that Triple H was. And Stephanie McMahon's like, well, I agree. You're not half the man that Triple H is. And he goes into, Seth Rollins talks about where his statue is. Like, where the fuck is my statue? It's like, well, Stephanie McMahon's like, well, go ask Sting, son bitch. Next up, we get Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev, which is a SummerSlam rematch. One of the rematches I was talking about earlier. If we go back in time, say a week ago, it was a double countout, and there was no real winner. Screwy finish, something that you don't want to do at your second biggest pay-per-view or WWE Network special event. But I guess they extended it because it still had legs. The feud itself still has legs. Dolph been gone. But now we get another match between the two. Did we need a match between the two of them so soon? No. And again, Raw went above and beyond the Call of Duty to put all these big matches out there to pop a rating. And that's basically what it was. But back to the review, the recap. Dolph comes out in like Hart family trunks. I thought that was pretty interesting. And it was a good match. And it really shows how athletic Rusev is. You know, big spots, athletic spots. He even does like a running somersault that lands perfectly. I mean, like perfectly on Dolph Ziggler. At the end of the match, Dolph Ziggler hits the zigzag. And when he goes in for the pin, Summer Rae comes in and basically throws the match for Rusev. And which is weird because the zigzag doesn't really pin anybody anymore. I don't know if y'all been watching the same show as I have, but whenever he hits the zigzag, it doesn't put anybody away. Well, actually the zigzag, I apologize. The zigzag actually takes motherfuckers out. It's the famouser that doesn't take motherfuckers out. But nevertheless, we get another screwy finish, another DQ. We get another cat fight between Summer Rae and Lana, which results in Dolph Ziggler pulling off Summer Rae, pulling off Lana, which results into a kick to the face. And they go up the ramp standing tall while and kiss while Rusev and Summer Rae are in the ring crying. Again, I hope this pays off at Night of Champions. Even though it doesn't have a lot going on, I guess, in terms of Ziggler. But we got a lot of Lana versus Summer action. And I just want this thing to be blown off quickly because the route they're going in right now is not a good one. It is not a good one. After the match, after, commercial break, Dolph Ziggler is with Renee Young. First, he's like backstage with Lana, and then she leaves, and Ziggler's like, well, I'm going to go jump in the shower. He talks to Renee Young for a while, and then he's like, well, I got to go. He goes into the shower. He goes into his locker room, and as Renee Young is talking on the microphone, you see Summer Rae kind of like sneak into into Dolph Ziggler's locker room. And the crowd just goes, what? Whatever. Next up, we have Team Bella in the ring because we find out that we're going to get like a beat the clock challenge for the number one contendership for Nikki Bella's Divas belt. And Team Bella are in the ring and they're basically talking about, Nikki is talking about her title reign. And to basically put salt on the wound, to the fact that we are waiting for her to beat AJ Lee's record, she presents the Bellatron. And the Bellatron is nothing more than a clock that basically ticks away as they count down to beating AJ Lee's title reign. We get Becky Lynch versus Alicia Fox, which is the first of 3 beat the clock challenges. Becky Lynch wins this with the disarmor in 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Now, it's funny because it takes doing this beat the clock challenge to shorten the matches. Now, I don't know if anyone read through this. As soon as I saw it, I read through it immediately. That like, okay, since the last 2 Raws and the Divas give Divas a chance, Divas Revolution, them getting like an ample amount of time, getting shitted on. Now, rather than WWE Creative sort of facing up to the era of their ways and fucking up the booking of these, basically the divas that have come up from the NXT division, rather than to just say, hey, we're going to actually create a feud, we're going to short your matches again. And that's to me what it all is. It's like, hey, we're gonna shorten your matches again, and it's gonna be we're gonna make it 2-ply. We're gonna shorten your matches again, and we're going to somehow give you this idea that there is this number 1 contender. We're not gonna give you a storyline. We're just gonna shorten the matches and sort of do this faux angle where there's a number 1 contender. In the back, Ryback is with that, I think his name is Rich Brennan. I didn't know who that jabroni was, but he was just on last week's SmackDown taking the place of Tom Phillips. I'm not sure if Tom Phillips is not on there anymore. Maybe he had the day off, I don't know. But he's the guy backstage now, other than Renee Young. And just Ryback just talking. But then, and here's one of the things too. I stream WWE Raw, and for some reason tonight, in the last couple of weeks, my stream has been very, very kooky, to say the least. The kooky as fuck. So I had to actually get the information on what happens after the Ryback promo in the back. To follow up, when Summer Rae went into Dolph Ziggler's locker room while he's going to take a shower, you see that door open up and she's walking out. And then he's showing up with his towel on, and I think some of his ding-ding got shown in the shot as well. And it's just like a what the fuck moment. Again, like I told you, a bad turn to all of this, to this whole Dolph, Lana, Rusev, Summer Rae, Love, Square thing going on. It's not looking good. We get Ryback versus The Big Show. Again, another SummerSlam rematch, so to speak. It's for the IC belt without The Miz. And The Miz is on commentary. Again, my connection is really screwy, but what I can get from it was that it was a pretty decent match. I mean, Big Show is really going above and beyond the Call of Duty because of the please retire chants and him just basically trying to shut the people up. But he does grab the microphone. He responds to the please retire chants. And I think there's a spot where he goes on the top rope. I'm not sure what happens because my shit is screwy. I just seen him like on the top rope and the shit freezes. But it results at the end, I saw Ryback basically put Shell Shock on Big Show for the victory. And I go, okay, I guess that blows off that feud. They could have done that at Night of Champions. What's next for Ryback is beyond me. What's up with Big Show is beyond me because last Thursday he looked like he had a little baby face thing going on there. But again, too much too soon. We get Charlotte Flair versus Brie in a second beat the clock challenge. where Flair wins the match in 1 minute and 41 seconds. Shorter Divas matches, no storyline. Faux storyline. Not no storyline, faux storyline. Okay? So add it together. The first match is three and some change, and this was like 1 minute and some change. So that's like, so far, 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes, right? The last Divas matches have been gone like 12 minutes, right? You get Cesaro versus Kevin Owens. Again, I'm going to have to watch that match tomorrow and really see what the hell is going on when I do the review with Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. But come to find out, Owens wins. Again, this is another rematch for SummerSlam, and Owens wins this cleanly. Why Rusev can't get a fucking break is beyond me. Owens beat Neville clean on SmackDown just this past Thursday. Either they're just getting really behind Owens, or they're saying, fuck you, Neville and Cesaro. So one will only tell how this moves forward, because the Cesaro section is about to get real testy. You get Dolph explaining to Lana about what happens in the locker room. And him just saying, baby, 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 baby. I didn't do anything, girl. I ain't do nothing, girl. Weak sauce. You get a Wyatt family promo. And Braun speaks about the beginning of the apocalypse. That's a big motherfucker, by the way, man. So we end up getting a Braun versus Ambrose. Brie and Harper accompanies Braun, and then Roman Reigns comes out in support of Ambrose. And this is a very, my shit's screwy, but for what I could pick up on, Braun is an impressive man, and it looks like he's caught on, even with his lack of exposure. I guess he's been in the shed really doing his thing, but impressive. He's an impressive man. Very powerful. He's just tossing Ambrose around left and right. He's don't stand a chance. Reigns causes the DQ because at some point when they're outside the ring, Braun throws Ambrose into Reigns. And Reigns, trying to give the receipt, he causes the DQ, which results to Braun just basically beating the fuck out of both of them yet again. But Harper gets involved after Ambrose hits Braun with a chair. Doesn't faze him. He gets taken out. It's like Reign is about to use the distraction to get him, but then he catches a super kick by Harper. And then Braun chokes out Ambrose and then hits his finisher that, he puts him on his fucking shoulder. I don't know what the fuck the name of that is, but I guess they'll tell us something soon. He drops Reigns, and then Reigns is put out by Sister Abigail. Just total annihilation again on Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. Then we get Rollins in the back with Young, and he says, I'm going to confront Sting about where the fuck is my statue at. Sasha Banks versus Paige. I don't even get to see this match because of my internet so fucked up. So I went to the Twitters. Come to find out, Paige hits the Rampage on Sasha Banks, but the rest of Team Bad pull Sasha Banks out of the ring to have that 1 minute 41 second time to beat expire. So it was a no contest. Charlotte wins. She's the number one contender to face Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship at Night of Champions. Summer Rae's in the back, and she's basically has this made up story about what happened in the locker room of her just seeing Dolph Ziggler naked and how she was trying to resist herself, and she resisted because she was so in love with Rusev. But it was something that she was going to remember. New Day versus the Dudley Boyz. Why the fuck is this match happening right now? I don't know. But they felt like it needed to happen. The New Day comes out and they cut a promo on saving the tables. And they pull out a table with bubble wrap on it and save the tables. It's the save the tables chant, and it's pretty entertaining. You got the primetime players on commentary. Why they're there, I don't know. Dudley Boyz win with a 3D on Kofi. And it's a pretty decent match, whatever, man. And then they go grab the bubble wrapped table, and they're about to put Big E through it until Xavier Woods snatches them out. Too much too soon. Dudley Boyz, that's their second match since they've been in the WWE, and they defeat the tag team champions. They defeat the New Day. Too much too soon. Too much too soon. I mean, it's whatever, man. Then you have the main event, which is Seth Rollins, and he's calling out Sting, and he makes a statement about him having to take back the fact that Triple H is more of a man than he is. He's like, nope, I'm as good as Triple H, and I will be better. And he wants a statue back. Steph comes out, and she's like, hey, stop talking about my husband this way. You know, then John Cena comes out. And I go, oh, I thought we were going to go an entire Raw without one John Cena anything. And sure enough, he shows up, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, the collective eye roll across the world. And he basically wants his rematch. He wants to invoke his rematch clause for his U.S. belt. Seth Rollins is already facing Sting for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And Stephanie McMahon agrees that he will defend his U.S. Championship against John Cena. And that's how Raw ends. But before it ends and John Cena steps up the ramp, out comes Sting. Again, bizarro world to have Sting in the WWE. And he comes out and he stands right beside John Cena. And that's how the show ends, with the both of them. And Seth Rollins holding the belts like, come get some, motherfucker. Because he has to defend the title. So now we got a storyline moving forward. We got, Night of Champions is in 2 weeks. So the storyline now is Seth Rollins balancing having to face Sting for the World Championship and John Cena. We'll see what comes of this stuff. We will see what comes of this, because I get it. I see what they're trying to do. But one person at a time would have been just fine with me. Just Seth versus Sting would have been all right. Now we got John Cena coming through to steal the shine. And I go, what the fuck, man? Why can't this be about Sting? You know? This should just be about Sting. Whether you agree with him winning the belt or not, but just let this be about Sting. Now it's about John Cena. He can't deal. Can't deal. Well, that's Peter's Raw recap. Thanks for getting through this shit with me. Sorry I'm sweating. I got this light. This light is hot, so I'm sweating. Sorry about that. Glistening. But PJTWCentral.com, PJTW on Twitter. Hit the subscribe button below. Like, share. Check out the podcast I did earlier with Nathan Newman for the New Day podcast. It was episode 8, and we talked about last week's Raw, and we talked about the shootings that happened at the WWE Developmental Center, and we talk about anything else that we talked about that shit. And go check out Peter Talks SmackDown to tie some storylines together going into this night's Raw. And if you feel like it, go check out Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, episode 53. And that's about it, guys. Have a good old evening, and watch out for those foreign objects.